let's talk about how to stop comparing yourself. Dani, we actually were just having this conversation the other day because I was comparing myself. And I want to just make it relatable and raw and vulnerable. And I think that just gives a better sense rather than us just talking about how to stop comparing yourself. So I'm going to have you be my coach right now. I need your support.
Okay.
I've been comparing myself because there are just moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many people that are so much further ahead and I feel like I'm starting over again and I want to be successful and I want to be able to take care of the people around me and have experiences and all these different things that I'm saying in my head, and I'm being really hard on myself because I'm like thinking about the things that I want in this life and it just doesn't feel like I'm getting there fast enough. And it's probably because I'm seeing everyone else already doing what I want to be doing. So, can you help me?
Yeah. You're comparing timelines of when you want to accomplish something at a certain time before someone else. Who are you comparing yourself to before we dive into anything?
I mean, I feel like it's people I don't even know.
Why?
I'm just seeing them online. Like, I'm just seeing them be successful and getting opportunities and being in photo shoots, and I'm watching them like fly all over, travel. Like, they seem important.
What do you think they're comparing themselves to?
People that are doing probably even more than them.
So knowing that many people around us are probably comparing themselves to other people, what do you feel like the best strategy would be for you to compare yourself less to other people, knowing that everyone's comparing each other to everyone else?
I feel like I could maybe stop looking as an example, but maybe that's not as realistic.
We're going to see other people around us doing better than us, doing worse than us, there's no worse, but like just being on a different timeline for different things. Yeah. So what do you, and I'm not trying to just jump to the end of this conversation, but like, what would you say to yourself like a year ago, just commenting on like a different question, a year ago, who was probably comparing her then to you right now? What would you have said back to her?
I think you asked me this the other day. You did, It's not as complicated as you think. You're going to be where you want to be. You just need to trust that where you're headed and the steps that are happening right now will prepare you for what's next.
I don't think there's any way to compare yourself to anyone else, because even if you're applying for the same job, I'm not talking about you, even if you're applying to the same job as someone and you have the exact, credentials as someone else, you're racing each other to this exact position, but there's no comparison really in two people alike. You have different experiences, you have different personalities, you show up differently. If someone is better for something at a certain time, it's just not meant for you at that moment, and that's okay. What if we start to shift the perspective of, if something is not meant for you at a certain time, maybe you're preparing for something even better or something that is more aligned with you. And instead of being upset what it is that you don't have at the moment, realizing that not everyone needs to have everything at the time that they want it is also really important. So it's kind of like the entitlement idea, that we're not all entitled to every single thing that it is that we want at the exact time that we want it. So that's one thing. And then recognizing that our paths are all unique from other people. We're all different people. How could you ever compare yourself to anyone else?
Yeah.
We're all so different, and we all require different things. We're all on very different paths. Even if you're racing towards the same goal, you are on a very different path than someone else.
I think it just goes back to trust, and it's like trusting that everything you're doing is preparing you for what you hope to achieve.
Yeah.
And when I look at that, it makes more sense. And it's funny because you know that I can talk about this all day long and I help so many other people with this. But of course, it's something that I still struggle with myself. But as I continue to trust and know my worth and know that what I'm doing is where I'm supposed to be, that's it.
That's all that it is. Thinking about past relationships, for an example, I had 2 relationships before you, with women. And if I was spending so much time being so angry that I was not in the right relationship, and I forced myself to get another relationship that also wasn't meant for me, I would have delayed meeting you.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make any sense.
And you're probably a better partner because you went through them.
Yeah.
Through them. You went through the other relationships.
I went through it, but I didn't force myself to, be in any relationship that I didn't want to be in just because I was comparing myself to other people around me that had relationships. They met whoever they were supposed to be with at the time that they were supposed to be with them. People are always comparing ages of meeting a partner to like this timeline, but if you are not supposed to be with someone at a certain time, trust that, because whoever you're going to be with is definitely out there for you. What if it's just the timing? What if it's the experiences that you have to be able to relate to that person?
Yeah.
What if it's the experiences, that lead you to meeting that person? It's like, we just don't know. So there's no reason to compare yourself.
No, I remember actually working with this a lot when we were working with individuals and relationships. It was this fear, like everyone was getting married around them. Everyone was having a relationship and they're like, when am I going to find my partner? Like, it was such a fear, and it's like that same thing. It's like, what if you're going through this process right now where you do get to be alone and you start looking at it differently and you start going, I'm going to take this time that I am alone and I'm going to become the best version of myself so that I'm ready for that, or whatever it may be. Or like we always say that when you're looking for it, it's when you're looking for it, you're like, I don't know where it is. But then when you're not looking for it, it just hits you out of nowhere. I kind of felt that way about you.
Yeah, I felt that way too. It's really about taking a step back and enjoying where you are and really recognizing that life is just one big process. Yeah. One big process of enjoying the journey. And if we spend so much time being so angry that things aren't happening at the time that we want it, we're going to just spend this whole process being frustrated until we reach a certain destination that really may not even change how you feel. Yeah. A lot of people that we used to work with, we would talk to them about how they always thought that once they found the person that they were supposed to be with, then it would change everything for them.
Right.
And relationships are amazing.
What would we say about that again? We'd say cut it out. No, but they would ask questions. That's right. They would ask questions like I don't want to. How do I live my life now without them? And it's like, you live your life. Live your life. Be who you are. They will enhance your life, right? Yeah. And it's like, if you can continue to think, maybe that's helpful for even me right now in this moment. It's like, if I can continue to just live my life as I am, regardless of the number that's in the bank, regardless of, who's in my life, regardless of the opportunities, that one day when I do the things that I want to do, I'll still be feeling the same. Yeah. Does that make sense?
And also recognizing that other people wish that they were you. You wish you were somebody else. Whatever.
A huge thing is like not tying your worth to those outcomes. Yeah. Okay. This is like a good conversation. Hopefully this is helpful to like see a real life case study of how this works when you think about it and break it down.
Yeah. This is Keely actually moving through a full circle moment of understanding the comparison trap.
Because I could talk about it all day long and help other people, but like I still struggle with it myself. So hearing this, saying it out loud, speaking it, I hope this was helpful for you, and that you message us on Instagram, Dani and Keely Official, and let us know how this episode helped you. We want to hear from you. That's why we make these episodes, because they're for you. So follow us. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast. Know that we have a new episode every single Friday. And we're just so excited that you're here. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. We love you. We appreciate you. And we can't wait for more episodes.